Hey, welcome to Rapid Fire Questions about young onset Parkinson's disease, where I play the equivalent of the complaints department and I answer your questions. Ready? Get your chin straps on. Today we're talking about psychosis, relationships, medications, and how to communicate better and regrets. That's all I know. Question number 1, revealed. Okay. I'm afraid I'll get a divorce. I'm buying lots of toys. I'm using up money that's supposed to be in savings. I'm not looking into the future. My wife is pissed, and I'm also feeling very well. Can you explain to my wife about promiscuity and agonists? Okay, I'm not going to give you a hall pass, dude, but I get what you're saying. We have been given a crap hand. Our timeline just went shoo. Our timeline has been squished. It's devastating. Who knows why we react that way? Maybe we're afraid that we're going to die, and so we become sort of impulsive, and the drugs are strong. Medications that help us move in the form of agonists are extremely powerful. This is not your personality. You need to explain that to your loved ones. Speak to your doctors. Your prescribing doctor is so important to be honest with about this. If this is not your usual personality, your spouse may want to leave you because they don't understand what you're doing and they feel very... Well, it's hard not to take that personally. I mean, if you're not being monogamous and that was your agreement prior. But I get why people wouldn't want to be monogamous. It's hard. You feel like you're going to die. It makes sense, but you have to figure out that with your partner. That is a group activity. You are not the only one being, affected by this disease. It makes us very selfish sometimes when we're in pain. It's very narcissistic in many ways to be dealing with chronic illness without realizing that it's affecting everyone around us. We must consider their feelings and ask them what they want and where their boundaries are. Like, here's my boundary. Here's what I need from you. Here's what you can expect. Talk it out. Like pretend you're in pre-Cana. Say, hey, what do you want for the future? Are we monogamous or are we not? Are we using this money for this or not? That is a thing that you need to discuss clearly. Sorry, my meds are a little off today. That's why I'm doing this now. I want you to see a little bit about what that looks like too. 2, do you have any regrets about Parkinson's support groups? Oh, hell yes. I entered every support group so naively and wide-eyed, and I would be friendly with everybody. Oh yeah, let everybody in. Sure, people are people, Heather. Get a grip. It's not really always support. A lot of times it's ego and gossip and BS. One support group many years ago, I brought up the idea that there was a lack of diversity. I said, white people are 11% of the population. Where are all the people of color? They accused me of race baiting. They accused me of trying to start a riot. They kicked me out of that support group. Good riddance, right? Heaven forbid that I bring up the master of the obvious, the elephant in the room. We do not have enough diversity in our ranks. It's a problem. Stay tuned for a podcast coming up on that topic with somebody that you're going to enjoy. Not me, but I might be involved in it a little bit. We'll see. Hey, there's another thing that I deeply regret. There's a lot of we necessary for things to be moving. We need to stay cohesive. We need to stay together and work together. This is not about me. It's not about I. There's no I in this process, okay? For reals. We need to talk to each other, communicate, and work together to make things happen. Otherwise, it's a bust. What good is it? Okay, next question. Did you ever blow up a relationship because you didn't understand what was happening or you were having a psychotic break? Oh yeah, for sure. How can we know that we're having a psychotic break from the medications we're on unless we document it carefully and communicate with our doctors and others and have touchstones who actually tell us, look, you're out of line, something's wrong. Get your meds checked. I have a very good friend in England. I have several good friends in England who accepted me back after seeing my psychotic breaks. I mean, I'd call them in the morning, I'd look like Ted Kaczynski, and I was so paranoid, so confused about something that was happening. And the people that were involved were not making it very easy because they too were suspicious and paranoid because of their meds, and I don't even think they knew it. But I forgive them because I get it. I know exactly what was happening. We had this huge miscommunication. It was so blown out of proportion, so dramatic and bizarre. And to this day, one of them is still harassing me because he doesn't understand chemistry and he doesn't have any idea how sick people can get, including himself. That's another story for another day. I'm not a doctor. I don't usually or ever pathologize people, but we need to check our meds and stay on top of that. And the side effects of the operations we have, or other health issues, or maybe some mental health stuff, or the isolation, being alone too much, that can really mess people up. Stay connected. That's healthy. Last question, I think. What do you do if you fall in love with someone who is not capable of understanding your Parkinson's? Ouch. I think it's a really hard thing to understand. I don't even understand it, and I have the diagnosis, and I probably had it for 10 years before I was even diagnosed. Who knows? It's hard. I don't have an answer for that one. That's a really tough question. The idea of falling in love always sounds very like you don't have any choice. I don't know that that's necessarily true, although Cupid can be a little jerk sometimes. I would communicate and ask very specific questions. Just like my friend advised, ask the questions that you think are obvious, like, are you monogamous? What are your expectations? What would you like to see happen, and so on and so forth, just like you would in any other scenario. And just, like I said, be honest. Be plain spoken about it. That's all you can do. Communication is really everything. Online communication does not work. Text does not work. You have to be either eyeball to eyeball or at least in a video. You can't have conversation with people from a distance and make them make sense over language barriers. I mean, look at the internet. It's a disaster of miscommunication. It's a Tower of Babel. We're going down, man. Social media is a mess. All these influencers and egos, get lost. It's ridiculous. Anyway, more about that later. I think that's going to be the last question. Oh, wait, there's one more. Ooh. I know that you're having some struggles with DBS. Yes. Someone's asking about DBS. I'll do a whole series on this. My DBS has not been working, so I've been turning it off, which causes dystonia and shakes. And then when I turn it on, I can't talk or walk or move. So it's a Hobson's choice right now, but I'm sure they'll get the programming right sooner or later. And stay tuned for more information about that. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for joining us today for Rapid Fire Questions about Parkinson's. I'm no expert. I'm just sharing the most honest and clear view that I can, in the hopes that someone can use these videos to communicate with their loved ones if they're having trouble.